Hey guys, welcome to an impressions video for Battlefield 4 for both the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 versions of the game. And unfortunately, I get the feeling that this impressions video is gonna end up being a rant video because of the many issues that are present in the game, especially the PlayStation 4 version. I did get the whole package in the sense that I got the PlayStation 3 version, the PlayStation 4 version, plus the premium Steelbook and premium works both for the PlayStation 3 and 4 version. So I'm set. I'm good to go with Battlefield 4. And the reason why I decided to purchase, premium and all that is because I'm a huge fan of the Battlefield series. It's my go-to online multiplayer game. I put thousands of hours into Battlefield 3 and Battlefield Bad Company 2. I have them right here with me. These two games right here are basically my online addiction, if you will. And to me, the Battlefield series, when it comes to online multiplayer, they're the undisputed king. Up until now, I think. And I'm gonna start talking, let's just get the positives out of the way so I can focus on the issues and the negativity, if you will. Battlefield 4, it's a pretty decent game. I think the maps are fairly well designed. Especially I'm gonna focus on Conquest, I think, because that's the main game mode that I play. I think they have a pretty good design. The graphics are an overall improvement. Obviously the PlayStation 4 version looks great. It runs great, 60 frames per second. And the textures, they just look much better. And the PlayStation 3 version is not a bad looking version either. I was actually surprised at how well especially the single player campaign in the PlayStation 3 version looked really good. And speaking of the single player campaign, I know that these games are not really famous for having a fun single player campaign, but I do have to say that I'm impressed. I enjoyed playing the story mode. And I think Battlefield 3 had one of the worst single player story modes ever in the history of gaming, but Battlefield 4 rectified that. It's still generic, it's still a lot of set pieces, very scripted, but it was enjoyable for the story, and it's not very long campaign. So I had fun playing the single player, and like I said, the multiplayer, it's fun when it works properly. However, there are two main issues that I have with this game. The first one being they do not allow you to squad before they do not allow you to set up a squad in a squad lobby in the main menus. In Battlefield 3, you were able to send invites to your friends. They would join up with you on the main menu, and from there you could select quick match, and the game would look for a server that has enough room for you and your friends so you can join and play with your friends. Battlefield 4 removed that feature, and I don't know why. I mean, this is an online multiplayer game that it's based on teamwork and cooperation, and they removed that feature, which worked perfectly well. Here's the problem. I think yesterday in the official Facebook page, the battle log or the Battlefield administrator posted a message saying that DICE, which is the developer of the game, they don't have plans on adding that feature anytime soon. So that, to me, I mean, it's just insulting, really. I mean, this is a game that's based on teamwork, and you can't play with your friends. Like, the reason why I pay money is I want to be able to play with my friends, because that's when I have the most fun, because I can communicate with them. I already know them, and we can talk about things and communicate with each other, but they are preventing you from doing that, basically. And that is just frustrating. Now, the only workaround to playing with your friends is that they have to join you, or you have to join a game, and you have to pretty much hope that there is room for your friend to join. So you have to send your friend an invite. But the problem is, even if you join a server that has room, Usually what happens is when you pause the game, you look for your friend, you send the invite, he has to receive it, he has to accept it, then he has to join, he has to go through the loading screen. By the time he tries to join the game, the server is already full, because this is a new game. A ton of people are playing this game right now, and I would say 80% of the time your friend will not be able to join you if you send him a regular invite, which right now it's the only way a friend can join your game. That, or your friend has to go to the main menu and check the battle log menu or whatever, and he has to keep clicking on my username or whatever until there's a free spot so he can get into the server, which is frustrating as hell. There's no queue line or anything. You have to keep pressing the X button. It's like 2 or 3 steps back from what Battlefield 3 did so well, and I don't understand that. Now, the second point that frustrates me to no end, and this is my main issue that I have with the game right now. I've been playing Battlefield since Bad Company 2. Granted, I am not a super veteran or anything like that, but it's been, already, over 4 years that I've been playing Battlefield games. I don't know what's up with DICE, the developer, but for every single Battlefield console game that they release, they always change the controller layout. And I am not able to find a logical reasoning behind that. So for Battlefield Bad Company 2, obviously that was my first Battlefield game, so I played it. Okay, fine, I know the controls. Then Battlefield 3 got released. They changed the controls. They had some minor changes, but it's still annoying because you have to adjust. It takes a couple weeks for you to finally get a grasp of the new layout. And then the problem is when you want to go back and play the older game, Bad Company 2, then you have to, retrain your muscle memory in your brain to, relearn those old controls. Fine, the changes were minor, so after a few minutes, you're able to catch up and play the game. For Battlefield, and Battlefield 3 is a game that did really well for EA and DICE as far as sales. So the last thing you want to do is you have this successful game in Battlefield 3. You're trying to take away that large user base that Call of Duty has, and you're trying to expand your audience. And the last thing you want to do is piss people off. So don't fix what's not broken, or don't try to change what's not broken. That's what I meant. For Battlefield 4, with the beta, they had new controls for the game. They removed the I have a PlayStation 3 controller right here to somehow illustrate. You used to spot with the select button, and spotting is one of the most important features of the game. They moved that to a different location. I'm using the veteran control layout because it's the one that closely resembles the Battlefield layout, but it's not the same. So they moved spotting from select to R2, which means that you can no longer use your knife or a melee weapon with this button. You use it with this button right here, which is circle, which means your action button shifted over square now, and so forth. It's a snowball effect. They change one thing, another thing changes. It's a complete mess. That's just on infantry. When you get inside a vehicle, everything changes again, because in Battlefield 3 you use both your L2 and R2 as your brake and accelerator, or gas if you will, to move forward and backwards. Now they switch that to the L1 and R1 button. So muscle memory again. It's just you have to train your brain again. And then R2 is spotting again, so select no longer works. And it's just a mess. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, just get over it. Just learn the new controls and move on. Well, here's the thing. I learned the new controls for Battlefield 4, and in fact, my stats are better now in Battlefield 4 than Battlefield 3. I have better kill to death ratio. I have a better win to loss ratio. I'm doing better. So my gripe is not relearning the controls, because I can do that. Like I said, it takes a few weeks, and then you'll be used to the new control layout. The issue that I have is going back to older games. Like, I want to be able to go back to Battlefield 3 and play that game with my friends, because not all of my friends are going to upgrade to Battlefield 4. I want to be able to go to Battlefield 3 and use the same controller layout. It makes sense. I mean, I just want to be able to go there and not have to, retrain my muscle memory to a new controller layout. Here's the biggest problem. Okay, so I got used to the Battlefield controls for the PlayStation 3 version. PlayStation 4 gets released. We get a new controller that essentially has the same layout. And what do? They change the controls again. Now you aim with the L2 and R2 buttons, which I do have to say it feels great, because these buttons are like triggers, and it's very comfortable to hold and push these buttons right here. But the main issue that I have is, why not add an option for us, veterans players, to use the L1 and R1 button that we have been using since Battlefield Bad Company 1. There is no option. You cannot change. They force you to use the L2 and R2 buttons. So between Battlefield 4, both versions for the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4, and Battlefield 3, there's 3 different control layouts. So it's confusing as hell. Like, I already gave up. I'm not gonna play the PlayStation 4 version anymore until they patch the L1 and R1 buttons, because I'm so used to them. Now if you push L1, you throw grenades, you have to push this to aim. It's a mess. My brain just cannot handle 3 different configurations between 3 games that I'm playing at all times, because like I said, this is my go-to multiplayer game. So now I have that issue where I'm just giving up until they add this patch, or until they patch the game to add a new functionality that will allow you to have a more familiar control layout. And the solution to this problem should be really easy. I mean, I don't understand how the DICE development team, I'm assuming they're all software engineers, they're smart people, they have college degrees. I refuse to believe that not a single person in that office cannot come up with the idea, why don't we have a unified control scheme for all Battlefield games? That way, if I want to play Bad Company 2, it's the same controls from Battlefield 4, so I can jump back and forth between games, so I don't have to relearn anything. Why don't they do that? Or better yet, why don't they allow for like a full customizable layout, like the PC version of the game? Like, if I want to aim with triangle and shoot with X, let me do it. I mean, it's not the best option, but just let me do it. Allowed for fully customizable controls. I mean, I don't know why they're so stubborn. I'm trying to find a reasoning or a logic process behind changing the controls every fucking time there's a new Battlefield game, and it pisses me off really bad. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's just frustrating. And one of the main reasons why I got a PlayStation 4 is to play Battlefield 4. In fact, it's the only major release that I have for the PlayStation 4, and I can't play the game. On top of that, Conquest was not available for the first week or so because the game had an error where it would not allow you to play Conquest. And as we all know, Conquest is the main Battlefield game mode. We all play Conquest because it's the most fun mode in the game. So the game just had this problem where you were not able to join Conquest games. Now you're able to do so, so that's good. But the game also has this other issue where there's this error that kicks you out of the games, like randomly. You could be playing a game for like 10 minutes, you get kicked out. You could join a game and get kicked out at within 30 seconds. And not only that, so you're saying, okay, well, the game is completely fucked up. Why don't I just play the single player mode on the PlayStation 4 version while they sort these glitches and bugs? Here's the problem. There's another bug in the game that corrupts your data on the single player mode. So you could be playing, 2-3 hours and lose your progress, just like that. So yeah, so much for next generation, so much for the next Battlefield game. It's a complete bust. If you guys have not purchased this game yet, do not purchase this game because it's completely broken. And this is gonna sound unbelievable, but hey, if you want to go play a new first-person shooter, go play Call of Duty. I mean, I don't know if that game has any issues, but you're better off because Battlefield 4 is full of glitches, full of bugs. The game is unplayable. They keep changing the control layouts. It's a mess, and it hurts me because it's my favorite online game, and I just want to be able to enjoy the game, and it's such fundamental issues. I mean, you pay $60 for a game, you want the game to work, and it doesn't work. It's it's just mind-boggling, really. And the same thing with the control layouts. Just give a unified type of control layout that works with all the games, or allow for fully, customizable controls. That's all we want. So it doesn't make sense at all. The game is broken. Don't buy this game. I know Black Friday is coming. It's just around the corner, and there's going to be a bunch of good deals for this game. But you're better off. Even if the game is offered at $20, it's not worth $20 because the game just doesn't work. So yeah, that's my I guess impressions on the game. Now, assuming they fix all of that, I think the game is going to be enjoyable because, like I said, the level design is good. The graphics for, the PlayStation 4 and I'm assuming the Xbox One version are, they look great. The frame rate is pretty solid. But until they fix the game, as of now is unplayable. So don't buy Battlefield 4. It pains me to say that, but that's the cold truth. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all later.